comfortable seat and just settle in there. Just before we get started, I will tell you that this is your class. I want you to do the things that feel right to you. And if something doesn't feel right or something hurts, make a change. Do what feels right for you, what works for your body. So it's your class. I'm just giving you suggestions. So if you're comfortable in doing it, let your eyes close and begin to just arrive onto your mat. Take the crown of your head and reach it up toward the ceiling. Tuck your chin back just slightly so you can get some length in your spine. You may want to roll your shoulders up and down so that your shoulder blades rest on your back. And your legs can be crossed, or you can be sitting on a pillow with them crossed, or they can be out in front of you. Again, whatever works for you. So let yourself settle into this moment. There's nothing else that's important right now. Let go of all the rushing about of our daily lives. And just begin to notice your body. How's it feeling today? Notice any particular area which is asking for a little more attention. Now bring your focus to your thoughts and your emotions. And take a personal inventory of what crosses you're bearing today. What kind of worries and fears are you carrying? Now imagine Jesus reaching down from heaven to take them from you. Let's take your arms out toward the side and just place them on the mat next to you. And then turn your palms to face upward. On your next inhale, lift your arms up, out to the sides, up toward the ceiling, as if you were carrying your cares and handing them to Jesus. And then exhale your hands down. Inhale, bringing all those cares up, maybe looking up as he takes them from you. Exhaling with freedom and lightness as your arms come down. Keep going for a couple rounds of breath. Feeling lighter, feeling more open with every breath. And then after your next round, you can bring your hands down into your lap and keep breathing deeply and rhythmically, but your hands can just rest in your lap. Jesus wants to help you make space in your life for him. He wants us to give him our whole lives, cares, concerns, to-do lists, families, everything. He will take care of it. In his book called Get Your Life Back, John Eldredge calls this benevolent detachment, giving literally everything over to God to handle, letting go of our instinct to try to control everything. Eldredge calls this soul space, intellectual and emotional space for God to come in. It lightens your load and it creates room for God in our lives. Build your life on his promises that he will provide. And if you build it, he will come. God wants to fill you up and fulfill your every need. In Luke 12:25-6, Jesus said, "Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? So tonight, we're going to try to practice benevolent detachment, giving Jesus your concerns and unburdening yourself mentally and emotionally. With every shape we make tonight, focus on clearing out space, pulling ribs away from hips, shoulders away from ears, creating length between your vertebrae and in your spine, making breathing easier. With each breath, imagine you're handing your life over to God, your creator, breathing in the Holy Spirit, the breath of life, and breathing out our cares and concerns. Because who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? And while we move, let's ask God to help us open our clenched hands and give him our worries to make room for him in our lives. So slowly let your breath come back to its normal pace. And let's slowly move from your seat into a child's pose. So coming down onto your mat, your knees wide, your big toes touch, and potentially you want a block maybe to put to rest your head on, or you can bring your forehead to the floor if that's available to you. Your arms can be over your head. They can be, shoulders can rest on your thighs, or if you want a really secure feeling, take your hands underneath you and come down onto your forehead. And that's a very safe, kind of a private type of feeling, I feel. So do what feels right for your body. Breathe in deeply, and breathe out deeply. Breathe into your back body, and then squeeze out all the stale air. So continue breathing deeply, slowly, and completely. Tonight, as we move, use the power of your breath to soften tight muscles, allowing the body to move more freely and sending a message to your nervous system that you're safe. When we feel safe, it's easier to relinquish control. So maybe here, you might start rocking your hips side to side, just to get a little movement into your hips. And if your arms were underneath you, you may want to bring them out, put them over, like right by your head. Moving hips side to side. Maybe you get a little side stretch as you do this. Just play around with it, see how it feels. And then let's move gently into some hip circles. You're gonna have to come up onto your hands, maybe you stay in on your forearms, but just moving your hips in circles in one direction. A couple times around, and then maybe go the other direction. Benevolent detachment takes practice, giving everything over to God over and over again. First Peter states, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Now make sure you've gone both directions with your hip circles. And then let's come up to a table. So bringing both hands down on the mat. Knees are directly under your hips. Take your right arm up toward the ceiling with a slight twist in your ribs, through your ribs. And on your exhale, you're going to bring that arm through and thread the needle. So we're going to come down on your shoulder and the side of your head. Maybe taking your left hand up into a tent, fingers up into a tent on the mat. Maybe you take your left hand behind your back if that feels good for you. Just take a couple breaths here. Let's take one more breath. And then when you're ready, bring your hand back down to the mat, flat, and let's unwind, taking that right arm up toward the ceiling, looking up at it, and then exhale your hand down onto your mat. All right, now taking the left hand. Let's take the left hand up toward the ceiling, feeling that twist through the ribs. Exhale as you thread it through under that right arm, coming onto the left side of your head, and doing what feels right on this side for your body. So you may want to take your right hand behind or onto the floor, onto fingertips, whatever feels good for you. So cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So casting actually means to get rid of or to throw away. So when he says that, God is telling us that we need to throw away all our worries, like throw them up to Jesus. So that is what the command is, cast your anxiety on him. So let's all try to cast that anxiety. So when you're ready, let's take that arm back through. Unwind, lifting left arm up to ceiling. And then hand comes down, back to table. And while we're in table, let's start doing a few cat-cow movements. So inhaling, you want to drop the belly, lift the head, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round spine, head and tailbone drop. Belly button is to spine. Inhale as you come to cow. And then exhale around. Inhaling, dropping belly. Exhaling, rounding, arching your back. Let's do a couple more. Feel the space you're creating as you're moving in this way. And then come to stillness. And we're going to come back over to hero's pose. So in hero's pose, your feet are on the floor and your hips come back to sit on your feet. If that doesn't work for you, take a block, try to sit on the block. If you need 2 blocks is great. If hero's pose does not work for you, then you can just sit cross-legged. Okay, so in our hero's pose, we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. This is a good way to balance out your nervous system. So take your right hand, and we're going to take your middle and index finger, put them right between your eyebrows. So your ring finger and your thumb are going to be used to close off one nostril and then the other. So first we're going to close off the left nostril with your ring finger, or you can use your pinky if that works better. So close that one off. We're going to breathe in through your right nostril, and then close off the right nostril, opening the left to breathe out with your left nostril. Then breathe in your left nostril, close off the left nostril, and open the right, breathe out the right. Inhaling on the right, exhaling on the left. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Inhaling right, exhaling left. And continue with this pattern for the next few rounds of breath. The next time that you exhale on the right, go ahead and bring your hand down. Just begin to breathe normally again. And just take a second here and notice if you feel any difference from the movements and the breathing we've done so far. And let's just take your wrists, let's roll your wrists around one way and then the other, as we're about to head into downward dog. Okay, so coming off your block, if you're sitting on a block, I'm gonna come back over to the mat, come through table, and let's tuck your feet, your toes under, and begin to bring your hips over your heels, just to stretch your feet. I always like to stretch my feet to let them know what's coming. And then come back to center. Now we're gonna enter this downward dog kind of slowly. So first thing you're gonna do is just begin to lift your knees slightly off the floor, just maybe 2 inches. And then begin to lengthen your torso, your arms. Just start pushing yourself back, keeping your knees bent, really, really bent. And then when your spine is as long as you can make it, then straighten your legs. So come to that downward dog with your hips just a little bit higher. And once you get here, you can pedal out your feet, making one down and then the other, bend one knee and then the other. And just feel how your downward dog feels today, or at least this one. All right. And then when you're ready, we're going to come forward into a plank. So this will just show you how wide your downward dog is supposed to be. So as you come forward as a plank, that's where your hands should be in downward dog, or at least that's something to think about. Everybody's different, so you do what's right for you. Let's come back to downward dog. And then exhale as you come forward again to plank. And one more time to downward dog. And let's go back to the plank one more time. All right. So once you're back to your downward dog, take your right leg long behind you. And then let's look between your hands, bend your knee and bring that foot forward in between your two hands. You're gonna come to a low lunge, so you can allow your left knee to come down. You can put a padding underneath your knee if that is something that works for you. So as you come here, you're gonna bend into this front knee. Knee is gonna be directly over your ankle. The further back your left leg is here, the bigger the stretch will be on your left leg. So on your inhale, bring your hands up overhead, coming up. And take a couple breaths here. And then on your next exhale, bring your hands back down to the floor. Untuck those back toes, taking the knee off the floor. And we're gonna bring that left foot up to meet the right, coming into a forward fold. So in your forward fold, you can have a block to reach the floor, or if you reach the floor, you can put your hands on the floor, or they can be on your shins, whatever works for you. Your knees can be as bent as you need them to be. And then on your next inhale, we're gonna bring your hands to your thighs and begin to come to a halfway lift. So with a flat back, belly button is to spine, good. And maybe use a little bit of pushing against your thighs to lengthen your spine. Really feel the crown of your head reaching away and your tailbone reaching away from each other. So you're getting a very long spine here to create that space. And then on your exhale, we're going to fold forward. Inhale with your arms coming out to the sides. You come all the way up to standing. Bring your hands down in front of your heart. All right. So come to your mountain pose. Maybe bring your palms of your hands facing forward. Let your eyes close for a moment and just feel how mountain pose is feeling to you today. Set yourself up so that your feet are directly under your hips and they're gripping the earth below you. Shoulders are away from ears. Chin is tucked and crown of the head is reaching with a long spine. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. And then on your next exhale, begin to roll your shoulders. You can roll both at the same time, rolling them up toward your ears and down your back, or you can move one at a time. Whatever seems like it would be interesting to you. Maybe you want to go forward with your shoulder rolls. All right, and let's just shake it out. So shake your arms, shake all of what we've been doing so far, shake your legs, bounce up and down, shake off any concerns that you've had, worries, anything, shake it. Let yourself just shake, shake, shake. All right. Okay, so let's start moving your arms side to side. You can leave your feet flat on the floor or you can come up onto your toes. We're going to do kind of a washing machine here. And I always like to do this to fling off things. So casting all my cares. So cast those cares. And you can go slow here or as fast as you want. So God promises us rest when we're weary and burdened. And you can slow that down. Come back to stillness with your feet directly under your hips. Let your eyes close. And just notice your energy, how your energy shifted. Then on your next inhale, we're going to bring your hands upward to heart center in prayer, inhaling to heart center. And while we're here, we're going to exhale. And then inhale your hands up toward the ceiling, looking up, and exhale your hands down to your sides. Inhaling to heart center, exhaling here, inhaling hands up overhead, and exhaling down. Inhaling to heart center, exhaling, inhaling upward, exhaling down. Feel the space that you're creating here. Inhaling to heart, exhale, inhale to reach up, cast your cares, and exhale. Let's do one more round. In Hebrews 13:5, God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. All right. So let's bring your arms out to the sides. Let go of that breathing. I'm going to put them in a cactus position here. And then as you breathe in, bring your hands up so that your fingertips touch. And then exhale back to cactus. You want to do this as if you're leaning against a wall. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And you can switch which finger goes in front, if you can remember. And then let your arms come all the way down. Let's take your right arm in front of you and across your body. And take your left arm, bending at the elbow, to bring that arm in toward your body. Come, you who are heavy laden, cast your cares upon him. Live carefree before God. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He is most careful with you. These are God's promises to us. And then let's unwind those arms. Take the left arm out in front, right arm into the crook of the right arm. And just get a stretch on the left shoulder here. Take a couple breaths. And then let your arms come down. So now we're going to go to the top of your mat. And we're keep your right foot forward. We're going to step the left foot back. Keep your hips square to the short end of the mat. Bend into that right knee as we come into a warrior one. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different though. We're going to challenge our balance a little bit. So take your left arm up next to your ear here. Leave your right arm down. On your inhale, we're going to bring that left foot forward as you switch arms. Right arm comes up, and then left knee comes up. And you can just come to your toes if that's easier for you, and balance is a challenge today. And then we're going to switch back. So come back to warrior one. So inhaling, knee comes to front, exhaling, back. Inhaling front, exhaling back. Keeping your hips square, ribs away from hips, breathing. Go at your own pace here. All right, and then on your next time, when you come back to warrior one, bring your arms down, straighten your right leg, hands to your hips. We're going to fold forward into a pyramid, and you can use a block here on either side of your foot to, if reaching is a problem, or you can bring your hands to your shin, stretching forward. Nice hamstring stretch here. Take a couple breaths. And then bending into that front knee. Bring your hands up overhead, coming back to warrior one. And on your exhale, bring your hands behind you. Either interlace them or you can just leave them behind you. And we're going to take a big breath in and open your chest toward the ceiling. Widen your chest, open your heart. And on your exhale, I'm going to fold forward into humble warrior. Inhale, rise up, arms come up. Exhale, arms go back into humble warrior. Inhaling up, exhaling forward. Inhaling up and exhaling forward. On your next time through, stop in warrior one more time. Straighten that leg and then open it up into warrior two. So front foot is going to bisect your back foot, bending into the front knee. Let's bring your hands down towards your sides to start with. I'm going to do a little bit of a flow on this. And the flow is going to be bringing both hands up to parallel. But then as you inhale, your back hand is going to continue up overhead. Then we're going to exhale, straighten your knee and bend forward like a side bend. Inhaling up and then exhaling, hands down. So let's try that together. So bend into your front knee, arms come up, inhaling all the way up, and continue sort of like a clock. Straighten your front leg to a side angle pose. And coming up, bending into the knee, and let your hands come down. Let's do it again. Inhaling up, all the way up, straighten the front knee, side bend. And then come back. All right. Then let your hands come all the way down. Straighten that front knee. And let's turn toward the long end of your mat. All right. We're going to take your hands to your hips. Forward fold. And then you can do one of two things here. You can keep both hands in the center and just do a twist toward the right and then a twist toward the left. So opening up toward each side, or you can bend into one knee and walk your body over to that side. Straighten that knee and walk your body over to the other side. So it's whichever one seems to work better for you. And then on your next time toward the back of the mat, we're going to turn that foot and come to the back of your mat, lowering your right knee as we come to a low lunge. So left foot is forward here, right leg is back. Good. Okay. So from here, lift your arms up, coming into this low lunge, feeling the stretch in the front of your right thigh. And just take a couple breaths. And then on your exhale, bring your hands down. Tuck your toes under in the back and lift your knee. And then we're going to walk it forward so that both feet are together in a forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Try to create that space, tucking your tailbone, reaching the crown toward the wall in front of you. Then exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way out, all the way up to mountain pose. Hands come down in front of your heart. And let's just take a moment in this mountain pose just to notice the difference in the two sides. Okay. So this time from mountain pose, we're going to step the right foot back, coming into warrior one on this side. So we're going to do that funky arm thing again, where the right arm is up as the left leg is forward. And then on your exhale, bring that back leg forward, switching arms and lifting that knee. And then place it back down. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Creating that space. Casting the anxiety on Jesus. And then the next time you come through that warrior one, let your arms come down to the sides. All right, now let's take your hands behind. If you clasp them behind, then do it the uncomfortable way this time. So hands will be together. And then open your chest toward the ceiling. Open your heart. And as you exhale, we're going to fold forward. And then inhale, bring your hands up, bending your knee. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling up. Exhaling forward. And this time when we come up, just let your arms come down to your sides. Let's open that stance to a warrior two now. So bending into that front knee, your knee is tracking toward your pinky toe here. And we're gonna do the arms with that breathing pattern again. So inhaling, arms come halfway, then the back arm continues up, front leg straightens as you come over to a side bend. Inhaling up, and then arms come down on your exhale. Inhaling up, leg begins to straighten as you come to a triangle. Inhaling back up, leg bends, arms come down. One more time, inhaling up. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. All right, and after this next time, let's come back to center. Let your arms come down. Let's bring your feet in toward the middle. Maybe shake it out a little bit. Shake your whole body again. Making space. And then we're gonna do some breathing here, taking your arms out to the sides. Bend into your knees, inhaling, arms cross in the front, and then come up overhead. Exhaling down. Inhaling as you come up, exhaling down. And you can keep changing the arm that's in front. God hears you. Let him deliver you from your troubles. And then come to stillness. Take your feet wide, facing forward on your mat. Tuck your tailbone under. Reach your crown of your head toward the ceiling. And then let your arms come up at about a 45-degree angle. And take your fingers wide as they will go. I didn't know if you could see them, so I moved them down. Wide as you can go in a 5-pointed star. So your body is reaching out in 5 different directions at one time. Creating space. If you build it, he will come. Breathing in, breathing out. And let your hands come down by your sides. Let's turn toward the top of your mat. Take a big breath in, reaching upward, and exhaling as you fold forward. Plant your hands as we come into a downward facing dog. So bring your feet down. Bring your ears between your biceps. Create length in your spine. Just take a couple breaths in this downward dog. Draw near to God and he will draw near to you. James 4:8. And when you're ready, come forward to plank. You can use your knees here if you want, placing your knees down. We're going to come all the way to the ground, bending your elbows and slowly lowering down. Take your hands and put them right next to your shoulders, right beside your shoulders. Your Your crown of your head is still reaching to get to the wall in front of you. And then on your next inhale, we're going to rise up in a cobra. So your head, neck, and shoulders come off. Go only to the extent that you're ready. And then on your exhale, come back down. Inhaling up to cobra. Exhaling down. Let's do one more. Maybe this one will be the tallest cobra, the highest cobra. And then exhale down. And then take your arms out overhead and your feet long behind you. Your forehead to the floor. And then let's just begin lifting your right leg and your left arm. Lift them off the floor. And then exhale down. And then right arm, left leg. Lift them and put them down. Let's do one more each side. And then when you're ready, you're going to try them all together. So let's lift arms and legs. And breathe. Feel the space between your fingertips all the way to your toes, your pointed toes. And then on your exhale, go ahead and let yourself down. Bring your head to the side, maybe to your hands. And just let yourself relax here on the side. Take a moment. Feel your heartbeat. And let's do one more of those. So taking your arms either up in over your head, or you can bring your arms down to your sides. That's the other option. So if you want to do your arms down to your sides, you're going to take a breath as you lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Lift your feet, lift your hands, and breathe. And then when you're ready, come on down. Turn your head toward the other side. Make a pillow with your hands. And rest your head. All right, when you're ready, you're going to come up, take your hands to the outsides of your mat, so off of your mat, and bend your elbows at a 90-degree angle. So your elbows are going to be right by your shoulders, right or in line with your shoulders. And then on your exhale, you begin pushing up into your hands here for a wide cobra. So keeping the back of your neck long here. Keep thinking of breathing into your lower back so that to protect your back. If this bothers your back, then please just do a regular cobra or you can do whichever thing feels better. And then when you're ready, come on down. And just take another moment. Maybe you have your forehead on your pillow. And rock your head side to side. On your hands or on your mat. Okay. Now, begin to bring both arms, elbows underneath your shoulders. And your forearms flat, your hands flat in front of you. We're still looking down. The back of your neck is still long here. And we're coming into Sphinx pose. So in the beginning of Sphinx pose, this time, let's take your belly button tight to your spine. See if you can actually lift your belly off of the floor just by contracting your stomach muscles. And then find a way to breathe. And when you've had enough of that, go ahead and just let your belly go. Let it be on the ground and relaxed. Come to this place in the Sphinx pose and see what muscles you can relax. Which ones are you not using that you can just let go? Jesus answered him, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him." John 14:23. And then when you're ready, you can walk your elbows forward, coming flat again on your mat. And let's take your right arm out to the side. And your left knee bends to the side. So it's opposite, your hand is the opposite direction of your knee. Then using your left hand, we're going to begin to roll your body up just to give you your shoulder stretch here. So only come up to the extent that that feels good on your shoulder. You can leave your head down. You can take your foot that's out to the side, you can take it behind your other leg if that feels comfortable. Whatever is your edge here, go to that. Take some deep breaths. See if you can breathe into the tightness. And then exhale, let's roll back to the floor and do the other side. So taking your left arm out, right knee out to the side. Coming up onto your right hand, begin to roll over toward your left arm. So almost like you're rolling over your arm. You take that knee behind you to your level of stretch that you'd like here. And after the next breath, come back to center. And then let's roll all the way over onto your back. And let's hug knees to chest. Take your arms around your knees. Maybe roll back and forth in your lower spine. Okay, come to stillness. Now take your left leg long, keep your right leg hugged in, and use your hands around it to pull it in fairly tight. See if you can find the way to breathe that brings in the most air, even with your leg so tight into your chest. For we are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. Then on your next exhale, we're going to switch sides. So bringing left knee in, right leg long. On your next exhale, bring your right knee in toward your chest. Let's just do some circles. So you can use your hands on your knees. Do some circles with your hips. See if that feels different than the circles we did with our hips earlier. Then come back to center. Bring your feet down toward the mat. Let's roll over onto your right side. So using your arm as a pillow, roll over into the fetal position on this side. Your knees can be as bent or straight as you want. And then on your exhale, we're going to unwind just your shoulders. So bringing your shoulders toward the mat. And you may find that you want to straighten your legs a little more. Maybe you came into too tight of a twist here. But flattening both shoulders to the mat. You can take your arms up to like 10 and 2 if the twist is a little too much. Or you can take them out to the side. And look over toward the left side if that works for your neck. Deepest breath in. Deepest breath out. And when you're ready, you can roll yourself all the way onto your back. And then let's roll the entire body toward the left side. Coming into that fetal position on this side. And then open your arms flat on the mat, coming into the twist. Doing whatever variation works for you. When you're ready, bring your feet to the center, unrolling. And let's take your legs long on the mat. Take your arms up overhead. Let's come into a full body stretch. So reaching fingertips as far up as you can, toes as far away as you can, pointing toes. Feeling the length of your spine. Space you've created. And then let's go ahead and bring it all back in. Bending knees. Bringing knees into chest. And then let's straighten your legs a little bit so that we can wrap your hands around and reach for your outer feet. Bringing knees into armpits as we come into a happy baby. So the bottoms of your feet are parallel with the ceiling. You can rock yourself side to side as any happy baby would. And bring your feet in toward the center. Let's go ahead and get yourself prepared for your final relaxation. If there's any other movements that you want to make that would feel good, you can put legs up the wall or just anything that you feel your body needs now. Maybe you just need socks and a comfy blanket, something to make you ready for your final relaxation. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. Isaiah 43:2. And Jesus said in Matthew 28:20, I will be with you always to the very end of the age. So make some room, give God your worries, for if you build it, he will come. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Making small movements to wake up your body. Maybe roll head from side to side. Bending your knees. And making your way over to one side. Curl up there for a moment. And just observe how you're feeling. And then using your hands to help you up, using as little effort as possible, keeping your eyes closed, your gaze soft. Come up to a seat. And when you're there, reaching the crown of your head toward the ceiling, nice straight spine. Bring your hands in front of your heart and bow your head. as we pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this practice today and ask that you open our eyes to your presence in our lives and in the world. Help us practice giving all our cares to you and making more space for you in our lives. Thank you for being our breath and our life. Please make your home with us and deliver us from our troubles. We pray all of this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.